What's up, y'all? This is Brant with CPC Bodybuilding, the home of men's classic physique. Today, I'm going to be covering the Chicago Pro. I've got highlights for you guys in men's classic physique. Come find out who qualified for this year's Mr. Olympia. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so before we get started with the highlights, make sure you check me out here on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and support me, CPC Bodybuilding. You can also find me on Instagram for all the latest updates with that same tag, CPC Bodybuilding. My page is right here. And then also, this video today is brought to you by my supplement partner, Evogen, which is Hani Rambod, the best bodybuilding coach in the world. This is his supplement brand. I've been using their supplements for years and years now. Great quality supplements for affordable prices, and I use them year round, whether it's in my off season or in my contest prep right now. So if you want to support me and the channel, make sure you use code CPC at checkout to save yourself 10% on the best supplements out there. So without further ado, guys, we're going to get into the Chicago Pro highlights. Marcus Perry won this year's Chicago Pro in dominant fashion, battling it out with the likes of some of the best in classic physique. We saw some spectacular performances from some guys who are still really early in their careers in classic, and guys who we might not have expected to really be fighting for that top 2 to 3 spots. So first off, I just want to say congratulations to Marcus, because he's such a good dude, whether it be on the bodybuilding stage or off it. He just stands for the right things. He's in bodybuilding for the right reasons. Just a really down-to-earth guy who is very hardworking and humble, yet very confident in himself. Definitely a guy who, if you don't follow him on social media, I would encourage you to. But he's one of those guys who tends to stay off of social media until the show comes around. We didn't really know he was going to hop in, but I am very glad we got to see Marcus compete in the show because he brought up quite a bit. Now, Marcus is kind of in the stage of detail refinement. He doesn't really need any more size. He's a big dude, and he's really shown that he has upped his game. Now, he stepped on the Olympia stage last year, and though the lineup was very, very strong, I don't think Marcus really got, his chance to compare himself to some of these top guys at the Olympia last year simply because the lineup was so big. Plus, his condition wasn't quite where we know it could be. We saw great condition at the Hurricane Pro last year. He kind of went for a fuller look at the Olympia, but this Chicago Pro look, he looked sharp as he has ever been. I think what really won Marcus this show is, one, the back. He is one of the best posterior chains, whether it be the back or the hamstrings, the glutes, the entire tie-in of all those body parts from behind is what really separates Marcus from the pack, in my opinion, as well as the density that is combined with the width. So his side shots are fantastic too. And from the front, he has beautiful shape. I think Marcus is probably one of the most underrated guys in classic physique. And I'm so happy to see him get this victory and see him back on that Olympia stage. I think this year he's figured out the formula. So he's prepped by his wife, Haley, and she has a great eye for bodybuilding as she's a bodybuilder herself. And I think they've really figured out what his best look is. And it's that sharper look, because size is certainly not an issue for Marcus. So I'm looking forward to seeing him potentially get compared in those first couple of call-outs with some of the top guys, because I think in some of these shots, he stacks up very favorably. So again, congratulations to Marcus. Now, next up in second place, one of the breakout stars in classic, he's been hyped up quite a bit on social media this year, is Matthew Grego, who came up for men's physique. He's coached by Chris Aceto, and what Matthew really brings to the table is just tremendous shape. I love his structure. He has very, very crisp lines. He knows exactly what to do on stage in terms of his strengths of posing. And I think Matthew brings tons of potential to the classic division he's just grown so much within the past year and a half since he really decided to make that step from men's physique, where he was already placing in the top 5 of some of these shows as a rookie. So that goes to show just how talented and how hardworking Matthew Grego is. And some of the shots that I really like from Matt are particularly his ab and thigh. Any front shot, his side chest is also very solid too. I think one point that will really just take him from being in that second spot, because he's placed in the top 6 in every single classic show that he's done this year. One thing that is going to take him up to that next level is refining the back. I think his back just needs a little bit more muscle, as well as some more etching in terms of the detail. But Matt is a tremendous classic bodybuilder, and I think has such a bright future in this division. So in third place, we had Cremo Amari out of the UAE. He has improved so much within the past year. Really, the issue before with Cremo was just size. He brought the detail, he brought the structure, everything that you look for in a classic physique, but he just wasn't quite big enough yet. He showed up at some of these shows like Legion last year, and he was in the top 10, but he just got outsized. But the detail was never an issue for him. And I think he's really, really made a huge jump in just 1 year. And what I really like about Cremo is he has just packed on the muscle. Like, his quads are incredible. You can see so much detail, the teardrops, the outer sweep, the adductors are there. I mean, this guy just has everything. Very, very muscular. His arms have gotten bigger as well. And I think Cremo is very capable of winning a show even this year. So Cremo Amari was the third place finisher here. Next up, another guy who I think is still so early on in his career, but is the future of classic. This guy is just incredible when it comes to his structure. He has the huge frame that is almost Chris Bumstead-esque. And Dylan Bursey finished in fourth place. Just what a classic physique, guys. He has all of the lines, very crisp, clean look. He's a tall guy. He won Mr. North America last year in Class D in classic physique, which is the tallest class in the division. So Dylan is a very tall guy. And what all tall guys really struggle with is just filling out the frame. The thing is, Dylan's already a big guy, and I don't think he really needs too much more muscle, but it's only going to benefit him. He has everything that you need in terms of a classic physique. Really, it's just coming down to putting more muscle on the frame. He's got the ability to pose. He has the lines. He has the structure. He has the genetic potential. He has everything. All he needs is time. And I think what we will see here in the next couple of years from Dylan Bursey is, one, an Olympia appearance. I would be so surprised if this guy isn't in the Olympia in the next 2 or 3 years. And I think he is good enough. If he continues to add 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, this guy is top 10 in the Olympia, no question. So that's Dylan Bursey out of Canada. In fifth place, now the Canadian invasion continues, guys. Tony Koch finished in fifth here. Now, what I think Tony really brings is he's just a smooth operator. The guy just looks very well put together. He doesn't really have any weak body parts. And he's got great structure, the small waist, the very, very clean lines, just a really solid, well put together, balanced and proportionate look from this guy. I really like Tony's physique. I mentioned in the preview of this that Tony might have only finished 10th place at the Toronto Pro, which was his last appearance, but like, to me, that's not a 10th place physique, and you see why here. He finished top 5 in a lineup full of talent in Chicago. That's Tony Koch out of Canada. And another Canadian here in 6th place, we got Greg Dawson in his second classic pro performance, finishing here in that first call out. He took 3rd at Toronto this year. And what I really like about Greg's physique is he just got so much muscle, man. Like, he is so well put together. in terms of just having everything that you look for. I think really the only thing that Greg needs to improve upon is probably condition. And if he would have had the condition in this lineup, I mean, he was in the middle of that first call out. And I think personally, if he would have been maybe 5 to 10% sharper, he could have been in that top 4. Greg is that good. And I think Greg is only going to get better as time progresses. So Greg Dawson out of Canada in 6th place here. Now in 7th place, one of the sharpest guys in this whole lineup, Bob Waterhouse out of the UK. He finished in 3rd place, a very narrow 3rd place finish at Vancouver just a week ago. Bob is known for just bringing the great condition. You can see all of the etched in lines. Bob brings that hardness, just that very healthy looking physique. Bob is just so crisp. I think that's the best way to describe his physique. It's very crisp and proportionate and very well muscled. I think his upper body is just fantastic. He has the classic look. And I would say Bob kind of reminds me of almost like a 70s type of classic physique, which is personally one of my favorite looks. I love Bob Waterhouse's physique. A long-time natural bodybuilder. He turned pro as a natural. And you can tell just by the way he looks that this is a physique that has been created over time because his muscle maturity is just off the charts. This guy just has an incredible physique. So that's Bob Waterhouse, guys. In 8th place, we had Gerard Toribio Perez, and this is one of the biggest guys in the IFBB. This is a guy who I think is tremendously improved, especially in the condition category from his last appearance at Texas State. And this guy, he just has such a high ceiling. He's one of the tallest guys in the league, and his shape is just so incredible, especially from the front. I think really all he needed to work on was dialing in the condition and maybe improving the back. He definitely brought the condition this time around. He was one of the sharpest guys in the entire show, which is so hard to do when you're this big of a guy. I think he's like 6'7" or something like that. Like, dude is enormous. And really all he needs is more muscle and detail in the back. He's got the top line. He's got the front shots. He's got the side shots even. He's got the lower body to hang with anybody. So really all he needs is more work in the back, and this guy can start winning shows. I have no doubt about it. So it's Gerard Toribio Perez. In 9th place, we got Anthony Barbera III. I predicted him to be higher. Now, I don't think this is any cause for concern, knowing how well Anthony can just bounce back. He placed low at some shows last year, early in the year, ended up going on to qualify for the Olympia after just some crazy things happening, from missing finals at a show where he was top 2 to just, having his body depleted for such a long time. He was prepping what seemed like half the year last year, and this guy has that dog in him. He is not going to let this get him down. A 9th place finish is nothing to really put your head down about, and I think Barbs is one of those guys who is just, this is going to motivate him even more. A 9th place finish doesn't show his capabilities, and he's got the best condition in this entire show. I think what he's going to do is he's going to take some time, reevaluate, and get back to competing again. And I would be very surprised if he doesn't make the Olympia this year. That's my take. I know how good he is, and I fully expect him to bring a package that gets him that Olympia qualification for the 2nd year in a row. So that's Barbs in 9th place. In 10th place, we had Patrick Karpuk. Now, this is a guy who's just big, and he brings such a grainy, hard look that it's hard to overlook. He's a massive guy, and I think he could step into open if he really wanted to put the size on. But he looks great in classic too, guys. I think the wide frame is what really makes Patrick stand out. I really like his physique. So that's Patrick Karpuk in 10th place. Now, rounding out the rest of the classic physique lineup, we have in 11th place Maro Montanari, who made his pro debut. Looked very, very good for a pro debut. I think the one thing that he has to improve upon is probably condition, but he's got all the shape and muscularity in the world, especially from the back. His lower body is great too. I think he's got a fantastic lower body. In 12th place, we had Rodrigo Coelho, who also won the Masters over 40 division. So congratulations to Rodrigo. In 13th place, we had Tyler Sibley, who has improved a lot from last year. His condition is so much better, and he's only continuing to grow and get better with time. In 14th place, we had Vince Krause, and Vince also came in very sharp. I think we saw probably Vince's best look to date, and really, I think the lower body is great. I think really just what needs a little bit more dialed in is the condition in the upper body. And this is a bit rare to see upper body condition come after the lower body condition. So I think this is something that could even just be improved from week to week, because I know Vince is dialed in. His condition, even 6 weeks out, was very, very good. So just minor adjustments I think Vince needs to make, and he can move up to a top 10. In 15th place, we had Adam Casey in his pro debut. Adam brought a really sharp package. I love the detail on the quads. He has great etched in detail in the quads with the teardrops, the outer sweeps. He's got great adductors as well. I think really what Adam just needs is a bit more size, and he can start to move up in these placings. So Adam Casey in his pro debut in 15th place. And DNPs, we had Derek Simmons, Rob Brown, and Theodore Atkins Jr. So those are the results from this past weekend's Chicago Pro and Men's Classic Physique. Again, congratulations to Marcus Perry for punching his ticket to the Olympia. Again, if you guys like this video and you like the highlights, make sure you subscribe to me here on YouTube, and also follow me on Instagram, CPC Bodybuilding on both YouTube and Instagram. Support me on Evogen Nutrition. Use code CPC at checkout. And for those of you who like the channel, you want to support me, stay tuned, because I've got some merch coming out. You can see here I'm wearing a CPC bodybuilding shirt. I still have some of these available. Those are on my page. I'll put the reel up of the shirts just so you guys can see the back design as well. These are fantastic shirts. These are made locally here in the United States, and I would love for you guys to get your hands on these. They're high quality. They have that classic, timeless, old school look, and they're also affordable for you. I will ship them to you myself. Just shoot me a DM or a message, and I will be sure to hook you guys up with a shirt. But also, I'll be releasing some new things like hoodies, tracksuits, and additional t-shirts in the future. But that is going to do it for the highlights today, guys. I'm Brant, signing out for CPC Bodybuilding. Keep it classy, y'all. See ya.